Frederick Muyat is the Senior Science Research Specialist of the National Fisheries Research and Development Institute, which is part of the Department of Agriculture. I would ask Frederick Muyat to introduce himself and what brought him into this, to have a personal connection. We like to have a personal connection. We want to know their background a little bit and how they got into it, so that we have a personal connection, because we hope that we can follow through after this forum with the work that can spread our advocacy of livelihood and poverty reduction. So, Frederick Muyot, please tell us how you got into it. Not long, maybe 5 minutes only. What brought you to, what made you interested, what you think, the interest is for this, and then proceed your presentation. I talked to Frederick Muyot a little before this, and he's a fascinating guy. So, Frederick Muyot, you have the stage, senior research specialist on the topic ornamental fish prospect. Frederick, can you please proceed with your presentation?
Thank you very much, Sir Ernest. So good morning po everyone sa Management Association of the Philippines. We are very glad, we're so happy. It's our honor to be invited by your association, your foundation, to talk on this ornamental fish. Ako po ay from the National Fisheries Research and Development Institute. Kami po ay, yung NFRDI po ay Fisheries Research Agency ng Department of Agriculture. And then, ang NFRDI po is mandated to develop aquaculture technologies, improve aquaculture technologies, and generate yung mga fisheries scientific information to support the development ng fisheries industry as a whole, and at the same time, improve yung living condition ng ating mga fisher po. And part po ng aming maging programa sa NFRDI is yung ornamental fish. No? So particularly po freshwater ornamental fish. When we say freshwater, yung mga goldfish, koi, angelfish, something like that. At since the 1980s po kasi we're already mayroon tayong ornamental fish sa country, but until now po ay napag-iwanan na tayo ng ibang countries na nag-export na sa iba't ibang sa world market. No? So ang Philippines ay malaki po yung potential because we have a lot of good breeders in the country. We have good climate, we have good facilities, may mga farms tayo that we could develop. Actually, we are producing a lot of freshwater ornamental fish in the country, and yet we were not able to develop it into a booming industry like, for example, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia. So kami po sa NFRDI, even though po yung ornamental fish is not part of the priority species ng programa, because food fish po security ang inuuna ng DA, pero kami po sa NFRDI, we are trying to push kasi nakita po namin potential nito. Number one po as a livelihood para sa ating maliliit na mga fisher folk na involved. Actually kami nagkakontak po kami ng mga trainings, nagkakontak kami ng mga technical assistance, even nagbibigay kami ng mga breeders. No? And then pag may mga project po, external project or even yung regular project namin sa NFRDI or sa DA or sa BIFAR, ay pinupush po namin ito kasi kikita namin ay malaki po ang potential nito as an industry. So ito po ngayon, pinupush po ng NFRDI to gather support from the government na ma-develop natin fully yung industry para yung national local industry natin ay makapunta na sa export industry. Sa export, yung pong marine ornamental industry natin ay well-developed na po siya, yung mga NEMO natin. So for this, tama-tama po kasi malaking organization po yung foundation po yung MAP, and siguro we could gather some support from the group para ma-push po talaga sa government. No? Sayang po yung industry if we go to other countries. No? Marami po yung industry ng freshwater ornamental fish. So I'll go with my presentation na po, Sir Ernest.
Yes, so dali lang. May dadagdag.
Yes po, sir.
69-page report, which is the private sector view on how agriculture should be done. Ito'y nabigay sa Presidente last week, written by not academics but 5 coalition leaders. At isa dito, napaka-importante, is that we're not giving enough attention to fisheries. No? Ngayon, sabi mo nga, fish security is important, di ba? Sinabi namin unang-una, we think we should be a department of fisheries, bigyan ito ng importansya. And secondly, binanggit mo na fish security is the priority, yours is not. Well, ganito to, no? Ang foundation namin is actually agribusiness development, no? Di ba? And actually livelihood, okay? One is to eat the fish with enough food security. That is to create business. Ang maganda sinabi mo, it can be even done for the small, no? Ngayon, when we say push it, actually, government is not giving enough money. Ito sa mga priorities namin. We should give you much more money. In other countries, it's a department. Here, you just a group ang konti pa na kukuha nyo, no? Aside from us doing that, no, we'd like to say this. If you got the right technology, no, if you got it because you're in the institute. If you don't have it, yes, we need more government support to get it. But once you get it, the priority will actually be using the private sector to spread the business, di ba? And in your talk today, you tell us, kasi you tell us today, talagang wala tayong magagawa. Okay, magiging na lang kami educated. Pero kung meron na, even with little money, basta meron kang magaling, then we can spread it. And very often, unlike other countries, yung technology transfer, ang doctorate ko, technology transfer, nakita ko sa Pilipinas, may technology tayo, hindi naman siya transfer, na-transfer sa ibang bansa, di ba? Kinuha ng ibang bansa. Kaya kung meron ka, sabihin mo, at itong foundation namin at iba pa, tutulong kami, hindi namin kailangan more money for do more research. Of course, we need that also, no? But miski wala, baka meron kang pwedeng patok na patok, bibira na kami. In other words, if you don't have much money, where you're good at, we will spread it. We'll spend the money there because mga ibang research, tuloy ang research, tuloy. Wala na mga application, walang transfer, higit ng ibang bansa, kinuha tayo na naman tayo, no? Pero kung meron, yan ang tulong namin sa inyo. Sabat kung wala kayo, wala kaming alam, no? Hindi namin alam ano gagawin namin. Pero meron kayo, ibig na tuloy ang research niyo. Doon sa magaling ko, bigyan ng importansya, mag-usap sa amin para i-spread natin ito, di ba? So yun ang hinihingi ko. So today sa lecture mo, sabihin mo where it is and all that. Pinaka-importante, meron ba tayong makukuha ngayong araw na ito? Kung meron, ano makatutulong namin, di ba? Yun ang sinasabi ko. Ang problema ng Pilipinas, technology, madalas kulang nga technology. Pero may technology, hindi naman ginagamit. Yan ang trabaho namin dito sa foundation. Trabaho namin, technology transfer and jobs creating from that. Ang maganda sa sinabi mo, no, it can be even for small, no? Kasi kung multi-billionaires, bahala sila sa buhay na. Pero kaming walang masyadong billion, no? Kung may opportunities, sabi mo sa amin, then we'll spread it, okay? Yun lang po. So, thank you very much. Tuloy po yung presentation niyo.
Thank you, Sir Ernest. So, may share po yung aking presentation.
Okay naman, Sir Fred.
Isa lang po, sir, no? Okay. Thank you. So, good morning po ulit, and may I present my talk on ornamental fish industry in the Philippines, opportunities for aquabusiness. Again po, ako po si Frederick Muyot from the National Fisheries Research and Development Institute or NFRDI. Nakabase po ako ngayon, ang center po namin nasa Barangay Butong, Taal, Batangas, kung saan meron po yung mga fish ponds, and part po ng pond system namin ay meron kami mga ornamental fish. So ornamental fish is generally it's an attractive na color for fishes po that we keep for aquarium or in ponds, no? And they are adaptable to living in confinement, nilagay sa mga aquarium, sa mga ponds. And then they are aquatic pets. So usually similar to our land pets na mga dogs. Ito mga aquatic pets na sa tubig. And we use this to decorate out the homes or even the offices or even yung ating mga businesses. No? And very popular po siya as a hobby. And there is a challenge to breed and grow yung ornamental fish. Normally, we see yung ornamental fish or nilagyan po natin yung ornamental fish sa aquarium, sa bahay or sa office or sa mga establishments natin, no, to attract attention. And sa mga may mga malalapad na areas, meron tayong mga garden ponds, garden pools, no. So usually makikita natin dito sa garden ponds yung mga koi, no? Then we can put it in the office, sa bahay. And then we also have large aquariums, no? So for the marine, we have yung ocean park, and then we also have the freshwater aquarium park, no. Park kasi dito yung nasa sa Las Parolas. So there are several benefits ng naging very popular as a hobby because una-una, it is educational and it teaches responsibility. Educational kasi yung biological, ecological na interactions ng mga isda na nakikita natin ay na-observe natin if we are watching yung ating aquarium. And it also teaches responsibility because through aquarium keeping, pinapakain natin, papalit tayo ng tubig, chine-check natin yung condition ng isda. So tayo as an adult, even ating mga anak ay natuturuan ng responsibility yung pagkakaroon ng aquarium fish. And it has also been known na ang keeping an aquarium is therapeutic. If you have an aquarium at home and you usually nasa front ka ng aquarium mo, it has been known na it lowers blood pressure, reduces stress. May calming effect kasi yung isda sa tao. And then it also improve yung focus and creativity ng mga bata. And also it has been shown to improve yung sleep quality, kasi nagkakaroon ng positive mood. And then it also attracts people, kaya a lot of households are keeping an aquarium at home, a lot of establishments, mga restaurants or even sa mga hotels, and nilalagyan ng aquarium to attract people. It's very, very nice to have an aquarium at home. Sa ornamental fish industry, yung ornamental fish keeping is one of the most popular hobbies in the world. So million yung mga households that keep aquarium fish at home worldwide, particularly sa mga developing countries. And yung ornamental fish aqua business is a multi-billion-dollar industry worldwide. And there are around more than 2,000 species na binibreed or pinoproduce, and 65% nito ay from Asia. Yung Philippines is one of the main producers or main exporters ng ornamental fish, but mainly mga marine ornamentals to. Although we have freshwater ornamentals, pero hindi pa tayo nag-export. Sa puro local lang siya. Presently, yung yung ornamental fish industry ng Philippines ay meron tayong dalawang sectors. Yung marine ornamental, yung mga Nemo, they are mainly gathered from the wild and then they're exported abroad. So wala pa tayong breeding para dito sa marine ornamental, mainly gathered from the wild siya. And then we have another yung freshwater ornamental fish sector na pinoproduce natin ito, nagbibreed tayo. Meron tayong mga fish ponds, may mga farms, may mga hobbies dito na nagpo-produce. But yung production natin are mainly traded locally. Wala pa tayong export market. And almost all of the freshwater ornamental fish are hindi native sa Philippines. They are exotic fishes. Wala pa tayong na-develop na native species for this. So ang freshwater ornamental fish sector, which is yung toko po ngayon iikot, ay started in the 1980s pa po. Pero it has not developed into a booming industry unlike sa ating ibang countries like Malaysia, Thailand, China, Singapore, Indonesia na malaking industry na yung kanilang freshwater ornamental fish sector. But locally, yung freshwater ornamental fish industry natin ay merong huge wide prospects for development. Malaki yung potential niya for business. Alternative livelihood po para sa maliliit kasi ito marami tayong mga backyard. Actually yung NFRDI at yung BIFAR po ay marami pong mga backyard operator, backyard races na operators ang tawag namin. And then sa local at export market ay malaki po yung prospect ng freshwater ornamental fish. If we go around the Philippines, nagpunta po kami sa iba-ibang part ng Philippines, ito po yung mga main ornamental fish area, main production areas. We have 12 regions around the country from region 1, 2, 3, 4A, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13 in the NCR. So 12 regions po yan, involving 29 provinces, tsaka yung NCR. So if yung mga key players ng industry, meron tayong producer, middleman, wholesaler, local pet shop, sa importer. Yung producers natin are yung commercial farmers. Ito yung may mga fish ponds malalaki, mga ponds. And then we have backyard, yung mga sa mga may maliliit na mga area na sa likod bahay nila naglalagay ng isda and produce, or even sa aquarium. And then meron tayong mga hobbies. Ito yung may mga high quality na isda, mga high value na isda, na produce na isda. And then ang mga traders natin are the middleman, tsaka yung wholesaler, tsaka yung local pet shops, tsaka importers. So sila po yung mga traders natin sa sa ornamental fish industry. So, ang mga production areas natin po are, ang mga major production areas natin, among dun po sa 12 na regions, ang mga highest producers po ay mga Region 11, yung Davao, Region 4A, Region 6, Region 3, and 10. No? Estimate natin nasa mga 14 million per year yung production. Ang value niya nasa mga 145 million ang value. So, by province po, ang mga main production provinces ay yung Laguna, Davao, yung Iloilo, yung Pampanga, yung Michoacan, sa Cebu. No? These are the main production areas in the country by province. So yung mga naman, yung mga major traded na mga species natin na pinoproduce din ay ito yung mga nasa pictures, yung mga goldfish, Japanese koi, gapi, molly, platy, fighting fish, saka swordtail. So meron tayong mahigit 400 varieties na tinitrade na pinoproduce around the country, no? Involving 42 species po yan from 17 families. But lahat po ng ito ay local market only, hindi pa tayo nag-export. Although lahat po ng isda na ito ay they are imported species, no? Hindi siya native species ng Philippines. And around the countries, marami tayong mga fish farmers, marami tayong backyard racers na nagpuproduce ng iba't ibang klase. And then from doon sa mga production areas natin, ito naman po yung mga major trading sites. Usually mga major trading sites po yung NCR, yung Region 10, sa Caraga, Region 7 sa Cebu, then Iloilo, Region 3 and Davao. So usually po yung mga trading sites, ito yung mga central cities from the regions. So usually ito yung maraming mga pet shops, no? NCR is the main trading hub kasi doon sila yung maraming nag-ornamental sa around Calabarzon and Central Luzon, and then re-trade niya yan to other regions. And then yung producers natin, meron tayong commercial farmers, may backyard racers, tsaka hobbyists. Yung production nito, mainly more than 70% ay commercial, and then 25% are coming from the backyard, no? And then less than 1% yung sa hobbyist. If you take a look at sa mga culture systems, ito yung mga commercial scale sa Laguna, for example, or even sa Pampanga, ganito typical na farm makikita sa Laguna or sa Pampanga. All-in-one po siya. So meron siyang fish pond, may tanks, may aquarium. So multi-species po yung binibreed niya. No? Sa kalakaran po kasi ngayon sa ornamental fish, if you have an ornamental fish farm, kailangan marami kang klase na binibreed. No? Kasi yun yung demand ng local pet shops natin sa ngayon. So usually mga 20 to 30 species per farm ang binibreed niya. So ito yung typical na layout ng ornamental fish farm. Kompleto po siya. So kalimitan mga 2 to 3 hectares lang po yung area. So pag sinabing 2 to 3 hectares, na po yan, commercial scale na po yan sa ornamental fish. Although sa tilapia, sa bangus, maliit lang yan. Parang isang fish pond lang yan or 2 fish pond lang yan sa kanila. Pero dito po ay malaki na po yung production nito. No? Yung isang hectare po could be equivalent to production or gross sales na ng mga 3 hectares or even 4 hectares na tilapia. Then meron din pong mga maliliit na may mga areas po na hindi mag-hold ng tubig yung pond, so may mga plastic line siya like for Davao. Pero malalaki po yung area, nilaliningan lang po nila ng plastic liner para mag-hold ng tubig. So usually mga ganitong klaseng mga farms, ganitong holding systems, culture systems ay yung maliliit lang na isda na ang kaya nyong ipapadamihin dito. So mga 1 foot depth lang pwede na po silang gamitin. And then meron din po mga commercial tank based na, for example sa Batangas, mga concrete tanks mo ginagamit nila for production. And then sa backyard dito, marami po ang NFRDI, marami po yung NFRDI at saka BIFAR na mga cooperators na sinusuportahan. And then marami all over the country, marami pong ganito. So mga household yung nag-aalaga. No? So sa likod bahay nila, mayroong mga concrete tanks or tarpaulin line tanks. Maliit lang na space, mga 30 to 50 na area pwede na po siya mag-put up ng similar na mga setup. And then pwede siyang kumita ng between 3,000 to 5,000 naman, or even sa ibang mga magagaling ay umaabot siya ng mga 10 to 15,000 din naman. So yan po yung mga ano namin po, operators ng mga backyard, no. So pinopromote po namin talaga to kasi napaka-ideal po at suitable siya for livelihood ng mga maliit nating mga fisher folk, no. So mga lalo na po mahihilig sa isda. So yan po, no. So nung una sa mga iba na nag-uumpisa pa lang, no, walang-wala talaga, even yung mga lona lang, no, naghuhukay lang. Pero siyempre at the long run ay naggagawa na sila ng mga concrete tanks kasi mas maganda, mas sustainable, madaling i-manage. So yan po yung mga iba, yung mga hindi na nag-operate na piggery. So kino-convert nila, nilagyan ng mga lona, may mga ano lang, may mga divisions lang. Okay. So yan po mga ibang mga setups ng aming mga operators, mga ano lang. Maliliit lang po yung mga ano sa mga medyo maliliit na mga areas, no. So we also have yung mga hobby-based, yung mga hobbies naman, sila yung marami po tayong mga groups ng hobbies around the country. Ito yung sila yung may mga high valued species na mga isda. They keep their setups at home. And then usually ang purpose nila is to for their own enjoyment, no. And then they share this hobby among other members ng hobby club nila, no. For beta, for fighting fish, they have the beta club. Then therefore gapi, they have the gapi club. And then usually yung mga hobbies, they have the aquarium fish shows and competitions, which is very important para ma-promote yung ating ornamental fish industry. Actually, if we have a regular mga aquarium fish shows na i-engage yung maraming tao, and then yung interest ay nare-revive, no. And then mas dumadami yung mga buyers sa mga local pet shops natin. So ito ang maganda, naputo lang ito ng COVID, pero hopefully sa mga susunod na mga taon karoon tayong malaking mga shows. Ito yung magandang kasing showcase para sa mga isda natin, para sa mga nating cooperators, sa ating mga hobbies, to show their mga fishes, and then to gain interest ng iba-ibang groups ng tao. So usually ito yung mga mga species ng mga high value species ng mga ating mga hobbies na usually sino-show, no. Yung mga flowerhorn discus, fighting fish, goldfish, gapi, cichlids, and then yung Japanese koi, and many more. So if we are talking about ornamental fish, malaki po yung opportunity na to, both local tsaka sa export. Sa local po, malaki po yung local demand natin kasi yung middle class group natin ay increasing siya, no. At karamihan sa mga ito ay nagkakaroon ng interest on ornamental fish, no. And then we have a growing number of hobbies in the country. Makikita po yun, ang daming sumusulpot na mga hobby club, no, mga aquarium fish hobby club. So lahat po ito ay mga potential customers ng ornamental fish, no. And then on our part nga, yung livelihood opportunity for mga small scale natin na mga family households, no, backyard operations na sinuporta namin, malaki po ang opportunity para dito na magkaroon sila ng alternative source of livelihood, additional income, or even kung medyo siseryosohin nila, pwede nila maging main income. And then of course magandang opportunity po sa bagong players in the industry. If we look at mga feeds natin, equipment, broodstock supply, accessories, lahat po ng mga ito na ginagamit for ornamental fish ngayon sa local ay puro mga imported po. So if we have a very booming industry ng local ng ornamental fish, pwede tayong magkaroon ng local industry for the fish feed, for ornamental fish equipment, no, or local na equipment na Filipino made, no. And then yung mga broodstock natin coming from the hobbyists, coming from the farmers natin na magagandang klase, it's a big opportunity para sa mga players ito. Then yung mga accessories natin, hindi na tayo mag-i-import, local na yung pwede nating gamitin. And then if we take a look at po sa in terms of productivity, compare natin yung ornamental fish, say goldfish at tilapia, on the same area, for example 1,000 square meter area. Kung meron kang goldfish, yung 1,000 square meter mo ay you could have a net income ng around mga more than 100,000, no? In comparison sa tilapia na net income na nasa mga 30,000. So malaking difference po nito. Although technically po, mas kailangan po ng medyo higher na technical skills ang ornamental fish, no? And then number one po talagang mahilig dapat sa isda, yung operator at saka yung tao niya, no? Unlike for tilapia, pakakainin lang po talaga siya ng feeds, diretso sa harvest na siya. Pero in terms of productivity, yung on a per unit area, malaki po yung productivity ng ornamental fish in comparison sa other freshwater species na cultured species natin na food fish. And then aside from local, ito pong number isa sa pinakamalaki nating, actually kami sa FRDI yan ang natagalan naming pinapangarap, shared na vision ng BIFAR tsaka ng FRDI, yung makapag-export tayo, no? Meron po tayong malaking, we have a large and continuous demand sa export market. Tayo na lang po inaantay, marami pong mga exporter tayo na tinatanong ng mga Filipino exporters natin, no? Kailan kayo mag-export, no? And the Philippines is producing fish na in demand sa export market, no? Yung lang siguro, it's a matter of achieving higher quality species, no? Higher quality sa mga isda natin, at yung competitive dapat yung price natin, no? Alam natin medyo mataas ang operating cost sa Pilipinas, so we have to compete pagdating sa presyo sa imported fishes, no? At yung pong lahat po ng ornamental natin fish natin na freshwater ay hindi siya native. So what we are looking in the future is yung development ng indigenous species or native species as ornamental. So a lot of freshwater ornamental fish that we have right now at the market are they are native species of the other countries, no? So if we can take a look at other species natin na local, we can also develop that into ornamental, and then we could export that in abroad. So at present po, yung system natin, gaya na napakita ko kanina, yung one farm is multi-species kasi yung demand po ng local market. But if we go to the export market, it would be, we need to have a sustainable supply of good quality fish. So to do that, hindi po pwede yung yung maramihan kasi isang farm. So a one-way strategy to do that is yung single species farm, no? For example, like yung sa Japan, yung koi lang. Iba-ibang klase na koi, pero koi lang talaga yung alaga niya, no? So if we are going to the export market, so usually ito yung magiging system natin na pupuntahan, no? Para volume yung production mo, and then we can manage it easily, no? Mas madali siyang i-manage, no? And then kalimitan sa system natin ngayon ay pan-based, no? But if we yung tank-based na recirculating system, although medyo expensive siya, pero we think pwede siyang suitable technology for ornamental fish, especially for mga high-value species na pwede nating i-breed, no? Pwede i-produce. So ito, idea ito kasi control mo yung environment, and then kahit wala kang fish pond or even malayo ka sa mga ponds or even nasa rural area ka, pwede itong gawin, no? Yung ornamental fish farming. And then, syempre, yung indigenous species natin, we have some species na colorful siya. Ito, yung nasa picture, some of the potential species, yung mga Blennidae, Copidae, Cyprinidae, Iliotridae, Hiramperidae, and a lot more, no? So, may hindi kulay. So, like in other countries, yung mga native species natin, we could develop that as ornamental fish. So, yung ornamental fish, ang challenge sa ngayon is walang organized na group or association yung freshwater ornamental fish. So medyo mahirap kasi kung if you go to export. Actually, we tried exporting it, nakapasa na siya sa US, okay na siya. Ang tanong na lang yung volume of production. So yun ang nagiging problema kalimitan. So before going into a contract with the importing country, so kailangan meron tayong assurance ng supply. So doon nagkakaroon ng problema. Pero if we take a look at the production ng Pilipinas, marami tayong production. It's a matter siguro of consolidation, organization, para makuha natin siya. And then we also have to tutukan natin yung quality, no? Yung quality ng produced fish. So yung local farmers kasi ang tendency is to more on the yung trade lang. They are not looking into improvement of the quality ng isda. So if we are going to do export, we have to do better sa quality, no? And then yung presyo natin ng ang presyo ng produced fish natin should be competitive. Kasi if we look at the imported price, medyo mababa yun. So kailangan natin tatapatan natin siya. And we can do that through lower production cost, no? By efficient farming systems, no? So dapat mataas lagi yung survival mo, maganda lahat ang quality ng isda mo. So para mas mapapababa mo yung presyo. And then another challenge for the ornamental fish, yung proliferation ng invasive species, no? A lot of our, or almost all, no, ng lahat ng mga nagiging invasive like janitor fish, knife fish, jaguar, papote, yung black chin tilapia, these are all introduced to the Philippines inside the country as ornamental fish. So kami nga sa NFRDI and before, and we are very kinukosyon namin yung mga mga operators na never na magtatapon ng any isda sa lalo na live sa inland waters kasi it would be difficult to contain pag nandun na, no? For example, yung knife fish, ang hirap niya i-breed sa farms, but nung nagkabagyo at napunta sa Laguna Lake, yung knife fish, naging problema siyang malaki at hindi na siya nagiging problema na siyang malaki na hindi pa hanggang ngayon na-resolve. So yun po. So awareness po ang ginagawa namin pag kami nagko-conduct ng training ng ornamental fish. So sa ngayon, yung mga government initiatives ng NFRDI at saka ng BIFAR, meron tayong mga livelihood programs, no? Especially sa mga backyard raising. Nagpo-provide kami ng mga agricultural inputs, sa breeding materials, and nagbibigay din kami ng mga breeders, no? Nagkukonta kami ng mga training, seminar, saka technical assistance sa aming mga operators. And then we distribute yung mga IEC materials para makatulong doon sa mga interested na clients natin. And then we collaborate with the local government units on livelihood programs, no? Usually mga from the locality, sila yung mga collaborating partners. And then kumuha kami sa LGU, endorse ng LGU yung mga mga operators na tinutulungan sa mga local community. And then recently we conducted yung Ornamental Fish Summit 2022, although virtual pa lang ito, pero sa mga susunod siguro magiging na siyang face-to-face. Ang purpose po nito is to gather yung stakeholders ng ornamental fish industry para mag-gather din yung inputs nila. Kasi nagkaroon kami ng workshop dito para malaman kung saan ba anong kailangan suporta ang kailangan ng group, no? So wala pang organized group, pero essentially may sa mga susunod na itong yun ang isusunod namin, yung organization. Sa ngayon po ay wala pang organized na group. So pag ma-organize po natin, mas madali nang mag-gather yung ating mga stakeholders. So through kasi pang mga ganitong klaseng event, doon lang nagkakaroon ng chance na magkita-kita yung mga stakeholders. Doon din mapag-uusapan kung ano yung mga kailangan needs. And during this summit, we invited one foreign speaker from Indonesia, no? Exporter siya ng freshwater at marine ornamental fish from Indonesia. So nasabi niya nga doon yung support ng government na ginagawa. Kasi sa kanila may Department of Fisheries, and then meron pang talagang program specifically for ornamental fish. So ganun ka yung government support sa Indonesia, and then even for sa mga banks nila merong mga support ang government sa pagdating sa mga loans sa banks. And then may mga incentives sila pagdating sa mga equipments, sa lahat ng mga activities na ginagawa nila, sa mga materials na purchase nila. Even sa transpo, meron din silang subsidy. So yun po yung mga support na i-share niya, no? Sana although medyo mahirap sa Philippines, pero at least yung attention lang na masuportan yung ng government yung ornamental fish industry is malaking bagay na po yun. And we will be starting from this ornamental fish summit na nag-gather siya, and then by in the next few months siguro or even early next year, magkakaroon ng mga plan of actions para mag-gather talaga, no? So importante po sana magkaroon tayo ng mga exhibits, shows, kung hindi man kaya ng annual siguro every 2 years para dire-diretso yung yung mga interest na ng mga prospective na clients natin. And kami po sa NFRDA talagang nakikita natin unang-una yung pong livelihood nito ng opportunities. Gusto natin ma-maximize opportunity nito para magkaroon ng alternative livelihood yung ating mga kababayan. And number 2, syempre, ang talaga natin na vision namin ay fully develop yung industry at makapasok na tayo sa export market para talagang maging booming industry ng ornamental fish. So I think ito po yung last slide ko for this presentation, and for information po yung contact us sa aming email ad, no? And thank you very much po for your attention. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Frederick Muyot, no? Dumating na yung entrepreneur namin par excellence, si Robert Chupanco, kasi si Dulce Punsalan ang corporate secretary, no? Dulce, nandito ka, salamat. Nakakuha ako ng note na hindi ka makamoderate kasi yung signal mo medyo mahina. Malakas na ba? Kasi ikaw first choice. Second choice, iyo pa ako. Akong third choice, no? Ngayon, Dulce, okay na ba yung Zoom mo? Kasi kung hindi okay, si Robert na mag-take over. Okay na bang Zoom link mo, Miss Dulce Punsalan?
Okay na po. I transferred to there's an echo. I transferred to a space area.
Ay, salamat. So, Robert at ako,
I traveled.
Step tayo, Ernest. Sure. Yes, okay. Ladies first.
Can you hear me?
Hindi lang ladies first, yung magaling, mas magaling siya sa atin sa mga international.
Of course. Yes,
okay,
yes.
Dulce, bago mo mag-umpisa tayo, so you're going to be the moderator. Actually, at the start, you were not here, and Robert was also not here, so I had the takibutas role, no? But now that that you're here, no, I'd like to just have the privilege of asking a few questions to Mr. Mayor, no? Because this is special to me, no, this fisheries. As a matter of fact, in our 69-page report which the President got last week, it said here that fisheries really needs a lot of attention. No? But I just go to a couple of questions, no, to set the stage. Mr. Muyat, sinabi ko pa, bago tayo umpisa, ang objective namin is to create livelihood. Ginagawa mo yan with this and all that. Magtatanong ako ng special questions. Unang-una, maraming sinabi na there's potential and all that, no? Tatlong tanong lang. First question, may roadmap ba kayo for ornamentals? May roadmap kayo that there's the vision and there's the money you need and this is what you have to do. Meron kayong roadmap sa ornamentals? Frederick Muyat.
Sir, sa akin wala pa. Magde-draft pa po kami ng roadmap for this.
Okay, kailan? Next 20 years, kailan nyo gagawin? Is it in 3 months, 1 year, 2 years? When will you do it?
Kasama po siya, sir, sa gagawin naming action plan kasi based on sa summit namin. So we need to may mga interested groups na makipag-usap sa BIFAR. So we are projecting na kailangan yung roadmap for that.
Hindi naman yun ang tanong ko, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Mga businessmen, we listen to the question, we answer it. When will you finish your roadmap? When is your plan to finish your roadmap? Kasi maraming nagsasabi, no, they do it 10 years later. Dairy, no, 10 years. It took 10 years before they updated it. Because this is so exciting. Your talk has excited us, no? So what do you think your plan can be? Within 10 years? Within 6 months? Ano palagay mo?
Within this year, sir, kasama na yun nga, sir, kasi isa sa mga action plan from the summit, isa yun sa mga target namin na gawin, yung
very
roadmap.
good.
Kasi very important po yun.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just want to relate to you, no? We had this special seminar, no? Where we had the top Ateneo guy, the top Lasal guy. These are alumni, no? The top Lasal guy is the current central bank governor, Philip Medalla, no? And they asked him, ang galing ng NEDA, how come our card is not improving? Sabi niya, tama yun NEDA, ang problema, walang implementation. Sabi nga ng Dean Ateneo, sabi naman niya, alam mo yung economist like you, Philip, no? Sabi niya, but maybe the head of NEDA should not be an economist. Maybe the head should be a businessman. MBA, hindi PhD. Dapat MBA. Kasi problema natin implementation. In education institutions, they put professors as president and they don't know anything about these things. So you look at Lasal, parang negosyante talaga. They need the management people. No? That's what we want to help you. No? So you don't have a roadmap. You better have a roadmap. Point number 2. What is the ROI for the small systems that you have? Do you have a cost and revenue analysis of the ROI for the small systems they want to implement?
Sir, meron kaming ROI sa ngayon, yung sa backyard, no? Yung backyard is mga less than a year. Pwede niya yung capital investment niya for small business.
Okay, what's the ROI over 5 years? What's the ROI in general? 10%, 2%. If you talk about payback, no, payback in 1 year, no, which means that if you
Yes.
consistently do it, your ROI might be as much as 100%. What is the ROI? You don't know, right? You just know the payback is 1 year. Am I correct?
Yes po.
Okay, fine. You gotta do this thing because the businessmen, they like to hear things like ROI, etc. And I gotta do this fast, right? Okay, because if we're to proceed, this is what Vietnam does, which we don't do. They're very systematic here. You have no roadmap, you have no ROI. The third one is they have a monitoring of how many succeed. You give these lectures, no? If you lecture 100 people, how many actually do it? Do you have a record of that? I remember when I went to DJ, I would send people abroad, no? And they'd have good things, We say lots of money, they're paid 10 times more than the locals here. And we see how many you've talked to, how many have said, yes, we don't know. They don't look at the results, right? Okay, they don't do that, right? So my question is, when you do this training, and there's a Pampanga thing, they give lectures on, isang taon na nagagalit, they go there every single month, di ba? Wala naman nangyari, because they have no capital, they just go there, it's free food, you know what I mean? It's a waste of money, right? I mean, wala silang monitor what exactly happens. Because you know what they did, since if you have no money, they stopped it. No more. You cannot come unless you have some capital, you know what I mean? And from then on, the people are really coming and really doing it. No? Hindi pwede itong, kasi they measure, if you don't mind, I was in DA before, no? They measure there's of activity. We did many trainings for different, what will happen, they have no idea. I'd like to ask you, because we want to support you, what is your percentage adaptation? When you train 100 people in small backyard, how many actually do it?
Okay. Sir, thank you. Yung po kasi sa amin, when we conduct trainings po, usually po, yung mga potential na yung pong trainings conduct namin, kung kami po yung magko-conduct ng training, ito po ay mga potential mga cooperators na usually, kung for example, say mayroon kaming mga nina-train na mga 50, yung 50 ito are mga potential na siya na meron ng mag-i-start na. So usually, for example, like, ngayon po meron kaming project sa NFRD and NDA bar na project. So 50 po yun. So yung 50 po na select namin na operators, yung po tinitrain namin.
Very good. Of the 50, how many will actually start?
Yun po yung lahat po. Kasi part po kasi ng training program namin ay meron it's either coming from us yung support, no? Yung start. And then, yung iba naman po, nag-start na pero kailangan ng training.
Okay, good. They're very good. You choose them. Good. And after 1 year, what's your record? How many are still continuing?
Sa dire-diretso po yun, sir. Lahat po yun. Halos lahat po.
Kung meron man make money? I mean,
Apo.
that's surprising to hear, but that's great if it's true. No?
Apo.
Usually that never happens. When people start, 100% are not there after you. Anyway, these are the metrics that DA should really get into. No? I noticed that DA, because I know DA very well, I've been writing about them every week for 19 years. I was an undersecretary there for 2 years. I was an undersecretary for DTI for more than 10 years, etc. And it's a different, DTI and DA are completely different. Parang it's night and day. DTI palaging ROI, palaging what will happen, palaging how many. Ang DA palaging nagbibigay whatever happened. No? And I've been to the provinces to monitor the money. Incidentally, there's 22 billion that's unliquidated and unannounced in 1 year. In Napoles said 10 billion in 10 years. Questionable. DA had 22 billion in 1 year that up to now has not been explained. Right? In other words, what we have here is a necessity, no, for getting brilliant people like you into a business kind of atmosphere that we MAP-ABCD are used, and we want to support you on that, no? Di ba? Di ba? And we
Yes,
have a
sir.
new administration, right? There's in fact a book of 69 pages that is the private sector view that was commissioned, right? And I said, why are you commissioning us? It's your job. Sabi, because we want to your view. It's different from ours. Yes, you bet it's
Yes, sir.
different. You bet. And our view is more like Vietnam, right? Okay. And they're not allowed to edit it because we said when you give it, don't edit it, and it goes to the president, right? When the president asks you. And it shows a different view. But in fairness to DA, the one who started it was DA. For the first time, they had outside consultants. Kasi kung kayo lang, wala na naman nangyari, right? Outside consultant, do it, no? And it's 350
Yes,
pages. Do you know about it? 350 pages. And they came to us and they said, this is all theory. We don't know how it works, right? So do it. Sabi, you do it also. The job. That's not our job. No, you do it kasi iba yung interpretation niya, you know business. That's what we want to do here. In other words, what we have is very exciting, no? And we want to do the roadmap. We want to do the ROI. We want to help that, right? And then I'm glad you were selecting the people, no? Because too much money, that's another thing. When I went to DA, sabi ko, pwede ba wag niyong pakainin kasi ang laki ng budget sa pagkain. As a matter of fact, sometimes they go there for the food, you know? And once they said we'll stop this, why we have no money, they cut the budget by one half. Do you know that? They cut the budget for private sector participation by one half. And they said we cannot meet anymore because we cannot feed you. Said we'll bring our own baon. We don't care about your food. We'll bring our own baon. We need the meeting. We don't need the food. You're canceling the meeting because you have no budget for food because they cut you. Come on. There is a lack of mission here. There's a lack of passion. We are helping the poor. And you're doing that, Mr. Freddy Muya. You're helping that. But we want to help you, the business sector, to help
Yes,
you
sir.
to do that. No? So ang idea natin, sabi ko nga, the work is after the forum. We have to talk to you and your bosses about the roadmap. And as you may know, no, we, MAP-ABCD, were the coordinator in interviews with senators now. And the roadmap came from us. You had no roadmap. Do you know that? You had no outline for roadmap for more than 20 years. The first time you got it was from us, and you adopted 95%. And when you did it, kulang pa rin yung private sector participation. So we want under this administration to bring this up, right? And we have a board now that is very energetic and very entrepreneurial. No, our old board was also good, very good also. But these new guys, before it was over 60, all of them, whatever. Now none of them. There's only one dinosaur. The rest are below 45 years old, right? They're all entrepreneurs. So we want this to happen, right? There are dinosaurs like Robert Chupanco, Ernie Ordonez. We have young people like Julius is only 30 years old. So we want to cooperate with you because you are not a dinosaur. You're a young, energetic, idealistic person. You want to do that. No? So before I turn it over to the moderator, I'd like to say this. No? Mr. Muyot, aside from me being happy with my 8 aquariums and a fish pond where I grew fighting fish, I even know how to part women from the fighting fish. Because if fighting fish makes love, he doesn't make love. First, it shows off what he's good at. He turns it all these colors. No? And then before he impregnates the girl, walang rape ito, dapat pumayag yung female. Ha? Kundi kakagatin yung lalaki. Instead of rape, he courts her, and then he builds a nest. Di ba?
Yes,
And I
opo.
learned how to make love and how to create a family through the fighting fish. They taught me how to do it. No? Di ba? So I'd like to say this is fascinating. I was abroad my whole life, 12 years. I saw ornamental fish all over. I said, this is not from the Philippines, right? We think this is fantastic. All we need is an organization. You have no roadmap. We've got to do it. And then when you call the people, I'm glad you're doing what others don't do. You select them and all that. But we can broaden it, di ba? We can do this fast, di ba? But you got to show you're competitive. Kasi sabi mo diyan, we have to compete. Well, let's see. If we cannot compete, let's forget it, okay? Forget it. At basketball, and basketball, we world champions. Okay, it's okay. Whereas in pole vault, in tennis, we won world. In golf, we're the champions. Di ba? Ganun na. Sa fish, can we be champions? We are supposed to be the most richly diverse in fishery, whatever. We can, but you have to show us how. Huh? You have to show us the costs and all that. Will our electricity costs allow us to compete? Ganon, di ba? Because very often, it's our ignorance. It is our mismanagement that has caused all of this. We're number one. Why are we not number one? We're mismanaged, right? We're mismanaged, right? And therefore, now we want to get back into the game, correct? And the president is now Secretary of Agriculture. They've asked what has happened in 100 days, right? Well, we have to give it more time, di ba? But I'm informing you, I was with the president on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. He saw me 2 days later. I said, Ernie, what are you doing? I'm seeing you again. Of course, because I love agriculture. And I love, and I think you can really help our country, right? Okay, and we're in touch with him, and we said we've got to transform agriculture. Even the last agriculture guy said that we've tried. Hindi pwede ang ginagawa natin. FRDI, you're doing a great job. The question is, it's got to use your brilliance, no? With roadmap, ROI, and this is what we're here for. Okay, so much for that. I'm just telling you, we're gonna talk to you after this forum because, as I said, kung forum lang, very good. Our chairman, who has departed, Bernie up support, no, wants creation of jobs through the brilliance you gave us. Diba? Okay, sige. All right. Having said that, I'd like to turn, and you have over here, you have the best, one of the best team marketing guys in the whole country, Rene Pamintuan. You got so many great people in this group, no? And we want to really do this because when tomatoes were rotting, people, the hundreds of thousands, in comes Pamintuan. He says, you got tomatoes? I got a market. He buys the whole thing and saves their lives, right? Yeah. And actually, there are some things that are happening that are very good and some not so good. So we want MAP-ABCDF to help in this thing. There's the Masunghi Reserve, which is in the page 1. Do you know we're involved in that? They came to us, they complained, we brought Senator Villar there, we got other secretary and all that. And now it's page 1 na. Inapit talaga, binabaril pa sila, di ba? So we here, like you, want to have the country. We're in the private sector. You have the country more than us because you're really full-time there. But you also have the country by supporting you and giving jobs ourselves. You don't give any jobs, but we give the jobs. But with your support, we can give more jobs, diba? Oh, is that okay, Mr. Frederick? Can we meet?
Yes,
okay. So on that note, I now turn over to our worldwide known bamboo champion, etc., etc. Dulce Punsalan. Dulce, Corporate Secretary, please take over.
Maraming salamat. Thank you very much, Frederick Muyot, for a very comprehensive presentation, and also, of course, Erdones for his very important insights. Before we proceed to our informal discussion, in accordance with our MAP-ABCDF tradition, we end the official forum at 9 a.m. And we would like to first award our certificate of recognition to our esteemed speaker today, Frederick Muyot. And then afterwards, we will have our group photo. And then we will proceed to the questions both on the floor. So you can raise your hand. And also we will read the questions posted by our participants in the chat box.
So, don't make me suggestion. I would say, as is our tradition.
Recognition for our speaker.
Don't suggest suggestion. As is our norm, we give preference to the live questions and later on the chat box. Pwede may priority yung live questions. Bahala ka, but chat box would be second priority. Thank you. And only 2 questions, wag maraming questions for each person.
So we'll just award first our certificate. Can you flash it on the screen? So this certificate of appreciation, MAP, Management Association of the Philippines, Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation Incorporated awards this certificate of appreciation to Frederick B. Muyot. Can you scroll up? For his invaluable support in the advocacy as well as his outstanding presentation today, and as resource speaker in the MAP-Agribusiness Forum, and for his commendable and unselfish services rendered to the foundation as resource speaker in today's 38th weekly online meeting. So, signed by, of course, our chairman, Julius Barcelona, and President Ernesto M. Ordones. A warm round of applause for our speaker, Frederick B. Muyot. And thank you for everyone that participated. So now we will proceed to our informal discussion. I see several raised hands. Maybe we can start with the raised hand and then proceed to questions in the chat box. So I will call on Sir Robert Yupanco for the first question.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Dulce, and of course, you had a good background introduction, Ernest. No. And firstly, so my question to Frederick, quickly lang, no. You explained everything about the industry of course, the ornamental fish, no. But hindi mo na include doon. How do you prevent people from catching fish instead of breeding the fish in the different places natin, tapos bigla na lang ini-export? Is that allowed? And what's the rules of the game for that? Okay. And then a quick one, you missed out also on, sana you could give a presentation on the industry of the Asian countries in terms of business, like how much do they export, para alam natin where we stand, no? Kasi yun na yung kalaban natin karamihan among Asian countries. Sinong pinakamagaling mag-export, ano yung etc. So that's my question.
Alright, thank you very much, sir. Sa number one question, sir, yung lahat po natin ng mga freshwater ornamental fish are mainly, lahat po yan ay binibreed natin inland, no? So wala po tayong ginagather from the wild. Ang ginagather lang po natin from the wild ay yung mga marine ornamental fish. Pero for freshwater ornamental fish po, lahat po ito kasi hindi siya native sa Philippines, no? Lahat po ay binibreed inland. Pero may mga cases po ngayon kasi may nakakalabas na sa wild, no? Say for example, janitor fish, no?
Yeah.
So yung janitor fish, marami na po sa iba-ibang rivers natin dyan. Yung maliliit, hinuhuli, then they trade. So, pero usually po yung mga farmers natin, inland po yung ginagawa. So for that, yung pong kasing trading for that, wala po tayong yung sinasabi yung sir, yung regulations for that, wala pang ano. Pero lahat po ng mga invasive species natin, alien species, for example, janitor fish, knife fish, meron pong program ang BFAR to collect all of that, no? So medyo mahirap kasi hindi mo napapakinabangan, lalo yung malaking janitor, hindi mo naman po siya nakakain. So what BFAR is doing is merong incentive system, even yung LGU, incentive system para makolect po siya. And then meron po tayong mga programs para ma-convert itong mga ganitong klaseng species para into other forms. Like for example, ginagawa siyang fish feeds, dinadry po siya. And then for yung naman pong knife fish, no, marami ngayon sa Laguna Lake, meron ting retrieval program. Initially, yung government ng ginawa, yung BFAR at LGU. Pero sa ngayon kasi meron na siyang local market. So binibili na po siya. Even yung iba, yung bumibili ng in commercial quantities sa Laguna Lake ay in-export now. Pero ang hirap-hirap po kasi ang hirap-hirap na pong ma-eliminate yung knife fish from Laguna Lake. So apektado po hindi lang po yung nag-fish pen, kundi pati na po yung mga capture fish, yung mga fishermen natin halos wala nang mahuli. Sige, very highly carnivore po kasi yung knife fish. Doon po sa pangalawa yung tanong, sir, yung sa sir? Yung doon sa sa Asian countries, no? Asian countries. So, tama kayo sir, wala kang i-present kasi yung figures medyo mahirap kumuhanap ng recorded na figure for that, no? Pero in terms ng trade, yun nga, ang number one natin diyan ay ang Singapore, no? Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia also, no? Pero even yung maliliit na countries like Cambodia and Laos are now going into export. Napag-iwanan na po talaga tayo. So, po, pero opo. Pero pagdating po sa mga competition, no, sa mga shows, even sa mga international competitions, yung mga hobbies natin nananalo. Just telling us na maraming magagaling na Pilipino, no? Known po sa Asian countries yung mga Pilipino na sumasali, na nananalo sa competition. And they are the ones being asked na, kailan kayo mag-export? Yun ang tanong. So yung magaling, it's a matter kasi sa yung mga hobbies magagaling. And then yung pagdating sa farmers, sa mga fish farmers kasi more on business side sila sir. Yung hindi sila more on, sila particular sa quality. Yun nga ang nakikita namin, nung 1980s, 1990s, ang gaganda ng mga locally produced isda natin. And then eventually hanggang sa ngayon, medyo hindi naman kaganda. So there's talaga na i-upgrade natin yung quality ng isda natin. Kasi nagtanong nga kami sa mga farmers, so bakit walang kaling na ginagawa yung karamihan. So walang class, walang sorting. So ang ano kasi la idea is bakit na ikakalpa, konti lang diferensya ang presyo.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
Sabihin yung sinort nila tsaka yung hindi sinort, siguro 50 centavos ang diferensya. Papakahirap.
Yeah.
So yun yung marami, hindi lahat sir, hindi lahat. So pero meron kaming so yun ang kailangan natin maitama sa kanila. Na if go,
kami mismo may aquarium in Tagaytay Residency. Ano yung tawag ng isdang yung malaki na mahal, may color red, gold?
Arowana sir, arowana.
Yun,
Yes,
yun yung dapat natin equal. I think million na ang presyo nun.
Yes
So
sir.
I think we should encourage that. Yeah.
Pwede yun sir, actually meron tayong, may mga breeders tayo na nakapag-breed na rin. Pero lang, mga silver lang yung
Okay.
Oh. Pero same naman po yun.
Okay.
Although meron po kasing may regulation po for kasi cited, listed po kasi ang arowana. Regulated po yung pagpasok niya. Yung pumapasok po sa atin, may mga chips po yan coming from accredited na farms. Kasi sa ibang endangered species na po kasi yung ibang mga mga arowana species. No?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed to our questions in the chat box, I'd like to request Henry to flash our next forum. Henry. So our next forum will be on Tuesday, October 18, also at 8 to 10 a.m. via Zoom. And the topic is commercialization of rice innovation. Our speaker is Dr. Ronan Zagato, the program leader of field rice from the Department of Agriculture. So we hope to see you also next week. Okay. So